Hello everybody, welcome back to the internet's best reactions. Today we are talking about the 2019 Canadian Grand Prix, and wow, the first half of the race you kind of thought, oh, this is maybe on to a dull one, and then it all kicked off. I promise you, I'm going to be using a lot of this camera. There's a lot of sass, a lot of rage, and it's all coming right now. Let's begin at the start, lap 1, and even before the race begun, Hamilton potentially had some issues at Alzarieni, me seeing Hamilton having problems at the formation lap. Now, there was actually quite a few tweets of people hopeful that Hamilton was going to have issues and he was going to conk out and not make the start. Bit harsh, because we wouldn't have had as good of a race as we did, and he did get off the start absolutely fine, kind of defended into turn 1 with Leclerc on the inside, beautifully went round turn 2, and it was kind of line astern as we went into the first few laps. I think a lot of us was happy to see this at Hurricane Barca. Ferrari keeps the lead from pole position. We're all hoping, God, praying that Mercedes weren't just going to run off into the distance again with Hamilton. Bottas was nowhere this weekend. But fortunately, Vettel got into the lead. He was fine, he was dandy, and it looked pretty chill for the first few laps. And Charles, there or thereabouts, Hamilton and Vettel were in a class of their own. Looking a little bit further back, well, not too further back, Daniel Ricciardo at Bcox 82 TKM, Ricciardo holding P4. What a sensational qualifying from him, and to be fair, a great performance from both of the guys. And I don't know what it is about Montreal. Have Renault made a massive leap forward, or do they just kind of suit that track? I don't know. Also, just as a side note, I'm really quite ill. I've got flu, I'm getting hot, cold, left, right, up, down. I'm really not well, so if I do faint midway through this video, I'm sorry, and if I forget anything, I'm also very sorry. Please feel sorry for me. I enjoyed this tweet. It was a bit of banter from the press conference where Vettel called Lewis Hamilton handsome at Chittaranjan. Vettel pulling away from his handsome chaser. And he was pretty much chill for the first 20-30 laps. It was line astern, as I say, we kind of all thought that maybe it was just going to be a rather dull Montreal Canadian Grand Prix, and then it all just kind of started to kick off. We won't talk about it just yet because we're going in chronological order, but my goodness me, I can't wait to talk about a few things, and I know you're here to hear about it as well. Woo, spicy. Our first retirement of the race came probably 10, 12 laps in. It's meme lord king himself, Lando Norris. At LUFC_George, Lando's on fire, other racers terrified. Now, it was a very strange one. We all assumed as soon as we saw it that he had smashed into the Wall of Champions. Oh, he's the next Wall of Champions. He's the next Wall of Champions. He's the next F1 champion, blah, blah, blah. He's hit it. But no, his rear, was it right or left? I can't remember, but it just melted and it killed the suspension, and it was very strange. And then I just love how they just left his car there for the entirety of the race. A little bit dodgy. I don't know, car could crash into another car and come steaming across the pit lane. Stranger things have happened. We saw a replay probably a few laps into the race of lap 1 and Romain Grosjean. He had a few incidents along the way. Well, I say incidents, just him complaining. But this one was quite funny. At B2309FV, Grosjean getting rid of the debris of Albon's front wing. It was, he just punched it out of his halo. It was crazy. He's like, no windscreen wipers, just get rid of the debris with his fist. I mean, there's nothing else better for the job. Now, I'm sure a lot of you were sat there at home or wherever you were, maybe you were at the race, let us know in the comment section below, but it was kind of settling into a rhythm, but a kind of boring rhythm, as I've mentioned, and at Max_Nordberg, he's pointed out something that was giving us hope all the time, but it never came through. The flag system today. The amount of yellow flags we saw in Sector 1, Sector 3, Sector 2, it was like, oh my God, maybe the crash, maybe the crash, maybe the crash. Safety car, maybe, no, nothing. Nothing! And that would have helped Charles Leclerc, wouldn't it, if we'd had a safety car? We're going to get onto that very shortly. And as I say, we're getting onto that very shortly. We're getting onto that pretty much now. At Sebi1607, lap 21 of 70. Thank you very much for the chronological awareness there. Ferrari switched to plan B. Or all the Ferrari fans, I bet you're all sat there, and I'm not going to call myself a Ferrari fan, I'm a Charles Leclerc passionate man. Put that on a t-shirt, I guess. But hearing that, plan B, we're like, oh God, what are they going to do now? And Sebastian, they pretty much nailed. Charles Leclerc, on the other hand, just leave him out there for 3-4 hours, just kind of push all the way to the end on carcass tyres. Yeah, just come out 12 seconds behind Hamilton. Good one. I'm fine. I'm not angry at all. Now this tweet made me laugh because I feel like this most race weekends. At France and Tova, the probability of overtake graphics are more useless than a podium cap with Hulkenberg's name on it. Now that is savage, that is absolutely brutal, but also quite apt because I just look at it and I'm like, why? He's got like a 3-second advantage over the pit window and yet there's a 20% chance in case lightning hits. It just doesn't really make much sense. And I know it's trying to kind of get more statistical analysis stuff to sort of casual fans, be like, oh, will he overtake, will he not? But it's pretty pointless. It really is. Social Media Team Championship time now, and there were actually quite a few submissions from Formula One teams. There was Mercedes Racing Point tagging us, going, please give us points, which I'm loving, by the way. Hopefully the other F1 teams get involved soon. I know Alpha have done before. And so let's get into the top 3. In third position, we have, now I don't actually have the table in front of me, but I think this is their first point, maybe ever, Haas F1 team. Formula One said Wall of Champions, and that's when Roman had a little bang on the old Wall of Champions, and then he said, they said, would you like the paint back? Now, I know Rich Energy have been making memes for the bad reasons after qualifying, saying that they knocked out Max Verstappen and they're better than Red Bull, but Haas, we're going to ignore Rich Energy. Haas, good one. You deserve a point. Get it on the board. 1 point. Now, this is a first in Social Media Team Championship history, but I could not decide which reply was better, so I'm going to split them. So the 2 points, there'll be 1 for each of these teams. In joint second place, it's Renault F1 team and Mercedes AMG F1. So Renault said both cars lapping in the mid-16s now, still P5 and P7 with Bott hanging out in the middle. Then Mercedes with a beautiful little shark gif. And then Renault came back with a tickling shark. I've decided actually, Mercedes get half a point, Renault get 1.5. I think Renault's reply was better than Mercedes. Some people are not going to agree and they're going to hate me for it, but hey, first in Social Media Team Championship, half a points. 1.5 points, 0.5 points. And finally, the winners of the Social Media Team Championship for the Canadian Grand Prix, Alfa Romeo Racing. This was a fantastic tweet. One of our drivers is very excited about the driver's parade. The other driver is Kimi. And I love, by the way, that Racing Point tagged me in this to give me a heads up. Love that. Good work, whoever runs Racing Point now, because I know Will Panisi moved on. But Alfa Romeo absolutely smashed it. Maximum points, you win. 3 points. So that's 1 point for Haas F1 team, half a point for Mercedes, 1.5 points for Renault, and 3 points for Alfa Romeo Racing. At Dimitri's QWERTY. Guys, you forgot Charles. Yes, you did, Ferrari. You forgot Charles. Again. At Martin_810, Ferrari strategist, we are going for a long stint on medium for Leclerc. Leclerc, help. I wonder if he comes back, after a race, goes to his debriefs and kind of goes, guys, what was the thought? And I know that there was a reason. Verstappen, I think, was in his pit window, which we saw after he pitted anyway, still didn't jump him. But also there was that chance of maybe getting a safety car. So I see in some ways why they left Charles out, because that's the only way he was really going to get anywhere above third. But then you look at Vettel having his 5-second penalty, maybe he would have been closer had he pitted earlier. So it's all hypotheses, it's all kind of just thinking what could have happened. But yeah, it just seems like he gets the Kimi strategy all the time. At Matt Simpson 99, so this is useful again. Right, okay, we're moving on now from the Charles being ignored, because I think a lot of people saw it. We don't need to say any more on it. Romain Grosjean, he is a man that has become known. Anytime there's an incident, anytime there's an overtake where unfortunately he's on the receiving end of an overtake, he comes on the radio and complains all the time. Always moaning, Romain Grosjean, and Guido van der Garde has absolutely nailed this gif, and I mean nailed. By the way, Guido van der Garde, welcome back to Internet's Best Reactions. You've smashed it with this. Perfect move. It's just awesome. Now, a little saucy pit stop. I'm not sure if the commentary team actually picked up on this or not, because I was kind of dipping in and out of hallucinations, because I really am quite ill. At D_Erdy36, the Verstappen pit stop, 1.8 seconds. Now, I need to see a replay of this. Vincent behind the camera is giving me a look of, oh my goodness, and wow. If that happened, which I think it did, but I may have been getting a drink at the time, that's sensational. Unbelievable. Verstappen himself kind of had a very difficult race because obviously he started in 11th, 10th, he didn't make Q3 because of that massive crash for one of the Haas drivers, Magnussen, I believe it was Magnussen. And yeah, well, Verstappen did well, but he couldn't really have done any more, could he? So yeah, he was just kind of fighting with Bottas for a lot of it, which shouldn't have been the case. Why was Bottas off the pace? Bottas 0.1, 2.0. Now we come on to the big talking point of the race. Now, I'm going to try and maintain composure. That's going to be very difficult in the state that I'm currently in. At Victor Villadsen, Vettel rejoining the track. Like, good gif, very good gif. Now, what are your opinions? I'm going to give you sort of 20 seconds from now. Get it in the comment section right now. I want to see your opinions. I feel like on social media, Twitter is a very good place for that. A lot of people, probably 85% were saying it didn't deserve a penalty. It wasn't fair on Vettel. You know, it was a little bit naughty, but did it really deserve 5 seconds? Now, I don't think he deserved the penalty either, but I'm kind of thinking it as if like, are we saying that because we wanted the racing to still happen between Hamilton and Vettel, that we thought, oh no, Vettel, you know, he doesn't deserve a penalty. But I don't think he did, but I'm just kind of throwing that one out there. Let us know in the comment section below what you thought of the incident. Did Vettel deserve a penalty? Not for me. This was a great one. At IGP Manager, Sebastian Vettel has now turned into a 200-mile-an-hour lawyer. He was not happy. He was a very, very angry man, and it is very justified the way he was acting. It was quite funny that you think that he is literally driving at almost 200 miles an hour, and he's complaining, moaning, blah, 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 going through corners, and he was actually losing time. I was looking at the Delta, and with all that moaning, he was definitely losing time to Hamilton. Oh, it's just such a shame. Who would have won the race? If Vettel didn't get that penalty, would Hamilton have gone for it, or was that Hamilton going for it anyway? I don't know. It's such a shame, because we had such a great ending to that race taken away from us. At El Wheeler 89, finally enjoying the close racing between Vettel and Hamilton, FIA. Now, Martin Brundle loves the everyone has a nose. No, that's not how you say it. Everyone's got a nose. What? Wait. Everyone has a nose. No, opinions are like noses. Everyone has them. Fair, but a lot of people are saying no. So, FIA are allowed their own opinion, but they are racing stewards. Surely they know it's better for the sport and better in terms of just fairness to have just let that happen. Vettel was out of control, in my opinion. Coming off the grass, he was still opposite lock. I do think he was a bit naughty getting on the power and closing the door, because I feel like he could have made more of an effort to stay to the left. But at the same time, it's racing. He made a mistake. This is oh, through there, 100 mile an hour, whatever. You know, it's split-second decisions, and Vettel was out of control. Okay, that is my opinion now. I'm done. No more. This was a very funny team radio. I think it actually happened a little bit earlier in the race. At It's Me Chavallo, Steiner protecting the pit crew when Magnussen was like, this is the worst, the worst experience of my life, or this is the worst race I've ever driven, and all this stuff. And it was like, whoa, okay, chill out, man. He was proper going in at his team, and that's not something you'd really see from a top driver, but Magnussen was just going in, and you've never really heard him. You've heard him quite fiery towards drivers, but never usually to the team. And Steiner was just like, shut the hell up. Now, after the race, and I'm sorry if I've missed anything else, so much happened in the midfield at the front. Please don't roast me in the comments if I've missed a particular incident. It was very, very hectic, and did I mention I'm really ill? At Aaron_car_, the cameraman trying to chase down Sebastian Vettel right now. I think we all thought that he wasn't going to go to the flipping podium, which I think would have actually led to him being disqualified, which would have been even worse for him. But he was pushing his car back. I don't really know why he did that, or whatever. Or maybe he had to park it in a certain spot if he wasn't going to go to the podium bit. But then he just walked off, and that cameraman was a legend. Well played, sir. He was chasing him down, and yeah, you just had to feel so sorry for him. What more can be said? He was robbed. Now, this may well be one of my favourite moments in Formula One history. Maybe not on-track action, but if you're talking off-track, this kind of is almost like Schumacher Coulthard when he goes to punch him. At Beard of Canada, Seb moving the finishing numbers. to Vettel #1 in Canada. That was absolutely quality. I loved it. It was just such a simple thing to do, but it had such waves of impact on everyone watching. It was so funny. And I love how no one then changed it afterwards. They were like, no, we're just going to touch. Can you imagine how much that person would have been booed if they'd moved it back to Hamilton being #1? Crazy. But Seb, fair play to you, mate. That was awesome. Mario Andretti came in with a very interesting tweet. A lot of racing drivers said it wasn't a penalty, which kind of backs up a lot of our opinions on that. We didn't think it was fair either. If racing drivers say it wasn't a penalty either, then I'm going to take that as a solid conclusion. Mario Andretti said, I think the function of the stewards is to penalise flagrantly unsafe moves, not honest mistakes, as a result of hard racing. What happened at Canada GP is not acceptable at this level of our great sport. Now that is a fantastically summed up tweet. I think that kind of just shows the common sense and the fact that they should be looking at that, not because, yes, he did cut him off, but the fact of he made an honest mistake, tried to control the car. Still a little bit naughty, I think. I'd like to see the data, the telemetry of his throttle input and his steering input as well, because, well, to be fair, we saw a little bit of him swapping, but did he come over? I don't know. I know there's going to be fire in the comments of who is right and who is wrong.
And now it's time for Race Rundown with your host, Matthew Gallagher.
Race rundown now. This is going to be a struggle. But let's do it. Let's do the race finishers of the Canadian Grand Prix were Hamilton, Vettel, Leclerc, Bottas, Verstappen, Ricciardo, Hulkenberg, Gasly, Stroll, Kevin. Hamilton, Vettel, Leclerc, Bottas. God, this is. I'm on 7% battery. I need plugging in. Hamilton, Vettel, Leclerc, Bottas, Verstappen, Ricciardo, Hulkenberg, Gasly, Stroll, Kvyat, Sainz, Perez, Giovinazzi, Grosjean, Raikkonen, Russell, Magnussen, Kubica. I ballsed up the last bit. Flippin' Nora. Hamilton, Vettel, Leclerc, Bottas, Verstappen, Ricciardo, Hulkenberg, Gasly, Stroll, Kvyat, Sainz, Perez, Giovinazzi, Grosjean, Raikkonen, Russell, Magnussen, Kubica. Oh my God, I should be ill more often. I've literally done the least mistakes and race rundown in 3 attempts. Any good? The non-finishers were Norris. Alba Norris. I like that. Alba Norris. Norrisabon. Norrisabon. Alba Norris sounds better. Rolls off the tongue better. And that is it. We are done here for the internet's best reactions to the Canadian Grand Prix. What a pile of drama we had. Obviously, I'm very upset about the 5-second penalty, but at the same time, goodness me, we had Vettel steaming through the paddock. We had him putting his 1 foot up on Lewis Hamilton's first place on the podium. It was just, I just live it. I feed off the drama, and I'm sure the Netflix Drive to Survive Season 2 will be very interesting to watch for Canada, so I can't wait to see that. If you want to get involved next time, use the hashtag WTF1 on social media, and I'll choose the very best ones. That's it. I'm Matt with WTF1, and I'm off to bed. Goodbye!